I can barely hear you. You're really quiet. Yeah, you're super quiet. Oh, I'm turning the bot down.
Oh, that's why. God damn it!
Ah,
I did the thing where my fucking headset was right beside my head again. I haven't even been drinking yet. This is already off to a great start. You lose the fucking Discord.
I have no fucking idea. Are we live?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course we're live. Why would we do this in secret? This is fantastic.
I don't know. Play the fucking regular intro and then we'll get into it. Fuck.
No, I have to give you a hard time about this. While the pre-intro is rolling. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I mean,
I'll turn the pre-intro down on my end to about 25% at least, so people can hey.
okay. So I'll be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
I did pre-game a little bit before the show.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
But not a ton. No, I went to hop in the server and it had like an exclamation mark and said like server is unavailable due to temporary outages.
Oh.
And then now it's just completely gone from my screen.
That explains why it wouldn't even fucking load up for me for a minute. So giving you shit, but anyway, I don't even know what to say to you. I'm just gonna roll the track and pretend that blame you.
It was there. I was talking to Rune Knight.
Yeah, I saw him. Nothing against me. Where is he anyway? Not here.
Was he supposed to be here?
I mean, normally like to have a third. Get us. He's fashionably. That's what. He'll come in.
Okay.
Maybe ping him or
get
something.
my cigar lit.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this because this is already.
Yeah, I'll ping him.
Start.
Yeah, do the shit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the biggest problem in the multiverse, the only show on the internet where we debate all problems, big and small, with and about comic books, from Ace the Bat Dog to Zaracon. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but it started with Z, so it works. I am your host of Church of Failure. With me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing this week, buddy?
Fucking hell. I'm glad to be here doing this show this week. It
has been a long 2 weeks.
Fucking week.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We definitely do. I apologize to everyone. We had some difficulty in the world, Ayrton and I, and I'll be. We actually broke for like 35 seconds, and
yeah,
I'm kidding. But anyway, no, we've had some shit going on.
He sent me some flowers and chocolates with like a weird poem and shit. It was kind of odd, but I appreciated the sentiment.
Bros before hoes, dog. Fucking bro code, bitch. Is it gay to send your bro some fucking flowers and chocolates? Obviously, I no flowers and chocolates. Correct the record of me.
What?
Oh yeah.
You cut out for a second there.
I said obviously I sent you no chocolates and flowers, so correct the record immediately. docking your pay again. You already owe me a lot of money
Wait,
to
what?
be on the show.
Hold on, you cut out one more time. Let's
I'm
try
sure
that
I
one
did.
again.
Fuck you. How about that? How about you go fuck yourself? Rune Knight has joined us. He is actually somewhat on time.
What's
There's
up,
a long
buddy?
time for me to enter.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I've been pulling 40-hour weeks and then doing a full-time move, so I've been busy.
Hey, I understand, man.
Gross.
I don't hold it against you. And you missed
Yeah,
the better part of it.
This is the thing I want to do. I'd rather be here.
Yeah, I understand, and you're here. So I mean, we missed last week anyway,
Yeah.
so you're good.
Oh, okay.
And I lost the whole Discord somehow, so.
He did. You missed the beginning shit show, but yeah, Ayrton lost the whole Discord channel. Like he dropped it out of his fucking pocket or something.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
I sidestepped a disaster, apparently.
Since we've all had a lot of shit going on, has anybody even seen any comic book related media before we get into our problems?
Yes. Yes.
What's new?
Yes.
What's going on? I mean, I know we have a Nazi in the boys now, woman instead of a man.
Fucking Beast Boy.
Oh yeah, why the fuck isn't Beast Boy green? I did see that.
It's a prequel book. It's before he's green.
Okay.
But that's not the problem. The problem is the actual structure of the book is abysmal. The actual structuring of the layout is horrible. And then they add the identitarian politics on top of it.
All right. DC stayed out of the identitarian politics. You know, for a long time they did. Like Marvel went in with it whole cloth, and DC is always following suit. Marvel did what became a bad idea.
So in the super brief, what it is that Beast Boy, it's a prequel. Beast Boy is just a kid living in the middle of some town somewhere with his folks. And they have him on like a control drugs that he doesn't Beast Boy out yet. He doesn't even know he has his powers yet.
Okay.
Right? And he wants to get popular. He wants to do things because it's his last year of high school, and that matters. Everyone's gonna give a shit about high school, but sure, he's a kid, he thinks it matters. I'm not kidding. Second page of the book, he balls up a piece of paper, throws it into the trash can, right? But instead of this being minimum one panel, where it's like one panel and he has after images, or it's 3 panels because it shows balling up, throwing, and then landing, or not landing. No. An entire page with like 4 to 6 panels as a spread. Because we had to watch him ball it up, throw it, and for it to fly multiple panels before it hit.
Oh, that's great. That's great use of real estate.
Oh yeah. and it's all done in. He's in color, but all of it, everything is done in grayscale.
Now, before you get too far,
hold on.
Before you get too much further, Rune Knight, is this your problem for the week? I mean, are you actually bringing a problem? Because you've gotten really passionate about this. Okay,
no,
all right.
I'm just saying this book pissed me off to no end.
I have a quick question about the book. Is the lettering all in Comic Sans?
I didn't notice. I know it's.
All right.
No,
the Beast Boy is awful. Really abuse their real.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have to look at that.
Well, because they have it to waste.
Well, of course they do. Where's the story to tell? Ways.
The sum is that the entire book, nothing happens. It's entirely to sell us to buy the next book, which is called Beast Boy Loves Raven, which is the Raven Beast Boy hybrid book, so that they can sell that ship.
And then do a Raven book. What you're doing?
Yeah, they presumably they did a Raven book either contemporaneously or before.
Ayrton, thank you, Rune Knight, for bringing that. And I saw that and it made me mad, but I had forgotten about it. I appreciate you bringing it back up. So now that it's making seed in the back of my mind, I know you do what you like, can. Ayrton, do you have
Everybody likes
anything you want
making
to
church mad.
get into, or do you want to give your problem? I mean, I guess we should discuss the problems from 2 weeks ago, because once again,
oh yeah.
the people seem to
So
hate me.
I just want to point out just real quick.
Uh-huh.
So last weekend, I did send you an invite link to my stream, correct?
Yes. I did not show up.
I got that.
Well, I just want to make that clear because Drew came on and did a little bit of gloating about beating you in the poll. So I just wanted to make sure it was fair that you were invited.
Okay. Well, apparently the people just hate problems that are researched. They hate when someone brings in. Obviously, just it's just whatever they see on the poll that they think.
My problems are researched to the max.
Sure.
I gotta dial back on something I said previously.
Yep.
Not Beast Boy specifically, but I think a facet of it is my problem for the week. So I'll address that when we get to it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, 2 weeks ago, last episode, we had 3 problems. Love, aka Curious Mystery, brought in the X-Men timeline that 9%. Ayrton McCartney coming in with the second.
Came in second, Church.
Ayrton McCartney coming in second. Grumpy Women in Comics.
That's right.
Writing for the Trade, dead last at 11 points. So you guys can all kind of get. Makes me a fucking rage. But I'm okay with it. I'm not bitter.
Does writing for the trade mean writing books that are going to be then collected into big trades? Is that
no? No.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit.
No, writing for the trade means writing specifically for 6-issue format. You can collect 6 individual stories. 6 of one,
half dozen of the other.
No. Fuck you. Wrong. This is why people didn't vote for it, because they think like you. No. You can write 6 individual issues and collect them into paperback. But when you specifically write for that 6-issue format, stretch shit out that doesn't need to be stretched out, lengthen storylines that don't need to lengthen, you shorten storylines that need to be longer. There's stories out there that you get 12 issues for. Right. And you don't get that anymore. You don't really see the maxi sequence as much as you used to. Because everybody's writing for that.
Man, is it 2 weeks ago already?
Fucking trades for it, and you might not be billed for that long in the book, so you're gonna tell your 6-issue story instead of telling 2 good 3 issues. Fuck you.
Well, because those don't sell to collectors; those sell to douchebags who have coffee table comics. They put their little collected on a shelf.
We argued this last week. I lost fair and square. I might bring it in later on. That's not where we're at here. Drew, first guest win on Captain Love. Even though he was wrong, it's okay.
So are we just doing one? So are we just doing one each? Since Rune Knight kind of has a problem.
It depends. It depends on how long the show goes, how we feel after we. It's good to
well, I need to know because that's going to determine which one I'm going to lead with.
No, you lead with what you lead with. Whether you get to bring your second one up is entirely has nothing to do.
God damn it!
Pick what you want to argue the most. I guess. Imagine you might only get
one. Fuck.
See?
All right.
Are you ready? Are you ready to bring us a problem? Whatever trivial bullshit
I'm ready.
Think is important.
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead. What you
So, my problem is cosplayers.
All right. No. Why are cosplayers?
Sounds like Rune Knight knows where I'm going with this. So, my problem with them is not I want to predicate this. It's not like, the guy that's like slightly chubby wearing like an Adam West Batman costume at a Comic-Con. Like, I love that dude. I'm gonna go take a picture with that dude. That guy, that cracks me up. I love that. No, it's these bimbos and himbos that just wear these costumes to show off their bodies and don't have maybe looked at like 3 pages of a comic book and clog up convention holes and make the lines to get in way too long, and are just there, and they get pissed off when you stare at their tits that are spilling out. It's annoying, and I'm sick of it.
Correct. Yes, that is a big fucking problem. Go
Like,
ahead.
if you're gonna show your tits, just wear a bikini or start an OnlyFans or become a porn star or a hooker.
How are you going to fit in at Comic-Con?
That's
if you aren't dressed up like a comic book kid.
Yeah, exactly. Quit crowding up the Comic-Con with your overly complicated dumbass costumes to show off your body.
Now, see, I disagree with you there. I think that it's not a bad thing that they do at Comic-Con. I think a bad thing is that these women go there and they basically taught a bunch of men have no opportunity whatsoever to 5 feet up. I think it's predatory.
I was going to bring that up.
Okay, all right.
And it also encourages simp culture online for these stupid damn Instagram accounts where these chicks, slutify the already skimpy old superhero costumes, and then that just, you see all these guys simping, and they're like, "Oh, you look so beautiful," and slay queen, or whatever the fuck the kids are saying these days.
Right, all the sexual predators and whatnot that yes.
Yeah, and it promotes simping, which is the downfall of Western society, and that's why California's on fire and why we have riots all over the country.
So
that is why it's a problem.
So cosplaying I'm sorry, Rune, I had before. I gotta ask a question. That simping is the reason for the California fires. That's the claim.
That's right, and I stand by it.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
I have friends in the area who say that 11 of the fires were started by an arsonist. So clearly, that was a simp. So I mean,
see.
But no. The thing is I'm this is going to happen a lot. I'm going to consistently reveal horrible secrets about myself that make me a pleb.
Okay.
I LARP. I enjoy it. It is an environment where I, a usually pretty conservative, quiet individual, can kind of cut loose, dress exotically, and have fun.
Okay.
And I like to gather costume stuff. I'm constantly, rampaging through Halloween stores. Like, I need this Baron Samedi hat, and I need this fancy cane. I need all this cool stuff. So I like the theory of cosplay. I like the artistry of people making a fancy costume of a character they enjoy. Those guys that go to Star Trek cons that look like fully kitted Klingons are amazing to me.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that.
But I will 100% agree that I have a problem not only with young women dressing provocatively with a presumption that they're not on the market, and not because they don't have a boyfriend, not because they are, incapable, but rather because it's somehow offensive for you, a fully capable human being, to think that you can at least approach them and ask, that you can engage in regular social interaction is offensive because you're clearly making them out to be a sex object when they're dressed like a sex object.
Exactly.
The other thing is, though, and I think this is very pertinent for any young woman who wants to engage in cosplay, and I ardently encourage them to do so.
Yeah.
Know the group you're going to go hang out with. If you're going to a comics convention, well, no, not just the character, but if you're going to a comic convention, you should know already that you're going to a place with large groups of men and some women who do not have perhaps the best social nuances, because this is their social interaction event where they get out of the computer room and into society, and they're gonna say nice tits. It's gonna happen. Okay? you need to take the salt with the sugar, because for every gentleman,
as long as it's not,
who
and
can
let's be clear,
appreciate,
real quick, let's be clear. That doesn't mean
yeah,
approve of sexual harassment, but
no,
catcalling is not
absolutely not.
sexual
Those
harassment.
guys are
Wait, what about
fuckers.
her ass?
Yeah, no, those guys fucking ruin it for everybody.
Right. I'm not saying that you should run up and be able to grab a cosplayer's ass. See it. Getting at
right.
is that
No.
when you get offended
But
that somebody's
oogling
your
grab my ass.
Hold on, let me finish.
I
Somebody,
enjoy it.
if somebody is standing there oogling you, tits are literally hanging out. I'm not saying that they should have carte blanche to touch you, but you can just kind of leave the situation
but I'm
yourself
gonna look
as well.
at them.
Yeah, they're gonna get looked at, and that's probably what you
that's
wanted to begin with.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. The guy that would touch a cosplayer's ass unwanted ruins it for the rest of us, because those of us like me that would walk up and say, like, hey, you look really cool, and you did a lot of work on this. Do you want to go have some coffee later? Now I can't do that because this guy's ruined it for everybody. My chance is blown, right? But those people are just as bad. They're just as bad as the young lady who looks at anyone who walks up to them and says, "Fuck off, creepo."
I just want to point out there's a double standard. So the last Comic-Con I went to several years ago, I went as Wolverine, as if that's a surprise to anybody. And I had a ton of people wanting to take pictures of me. And I know at least one chick touched my ass when she put her arm around me or whatever to take the picture. I was okay with it. Touch my ass all you want, girl.
Let me we're not talking about we're not talking about you being a horn dog. We're talking about cosplayers. You need to kick the question back to you.
Well,
and bring your
motherfucker.
Don't stop interrupting me.
There's one more subset of cosplayers that I want to bring up,
and I'm probably getting to that if you'll let me ask my question, because both of you have gone on about it.
All right.
So my question to you is, if you had that same ardently attractive person who fits the criteria to a T, but instead of putting on a purple bikini and dyeing their hair blue-black, they actually put 100 hours building, an armor suit, nice costume where they had to do all the stitching and matched every detail that they could possibly match. And sure, it might end up being like a skin-tight Mystique outfit, hand-sewn to give that. And they've matched the chain, they've done the blue paint, they've done the makeup, dyed their hair red. They actually pull off a costume that makes them look as good or better than a cinematic Mystique would look. Do they fall into the same category as the top player?
So and I will concede that this is the tricky part of it. It depends on the intention behind it. Are they doing it because they love that character, or they love the artistry of just working with their hands and making something and showing it off? I'm okay with that. If they're just doing it for attention, they just want people to stare at them and then get pissed off and then just take up space where other chicks that I could hit on could be in, then that's the problem.
Well, on some level, you have to actually use the now unpopular honor system. You have to assume that every female cosplayer who walks in the door, or male cosplayer, if that's your proclivity, is an actual cosplayer who likes comics. You have to assume that baseline.
I think
because their behavior is going to reveal where they fall in on that thing.
I actually disagree with you. In today's era, I think maybe 20 years ago, you're absolutely right. Advent of Patreon and Kickstarter, OnlyFans specifically.
By the way, look out for my OnlyFans coming soon.
Yeah, if you turn your Google Safe search off, I bet you would not be surprised at the amount of people who probably give zero fucks about Scooby-Doo that dress up like Daphne and Velma, as an example.
No,
right.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I don't care.
So
the problem is
that in today's era, you have to take into account that for those people marketing to sell their own brand.
The thing is that we can look at those people and we can say, well, why don't you get your own convention as much as we want?
No, I'm not saying they should get their own convention. I'm disagreeing with the point that you have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're under wholesome intent.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that excluding people on the premise that they might be a problem without proof beforehand.
Never said you should exclude them.
Is not you implied that they should be excluded because they're taking up space.
No, I implied. Ayrton implied that.
I didn't imply. I flat out said they shouldn't.
Ayrton
implied.
What I'm saying,
I flat out said it.
Look,
go ahead.
I didn't imply it.
Look, let's name a name to put a face on this. Okay. If Belle Delphine decides she's going to show up in a superhero costume at a convention, right? Because she's going to get a bunch of photos taken and then put them on her OnlyFans, and then Greasy Pod numbnuts are going to buy them. We're going to go to Pornhub and watch her stick her tongue out and cross her eyes.
She needs to go away.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, she has a right to pay her money. She has a right to walk in the door. But at the second she crosses over into that comic book convention, it's not Belle Delphine's Power Hour. She's just another convention goer like the rest of us, and that's what needs to be reinforced. That people's special status as net celebrity doesn't fucking exist.
Well, let me say, these people have the right to pay the money, stand in the line, go in and do their thing at the con. But just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean you have to. Just stay home and take pictures of yourself in your dirty ass mirror with dirty clothes laying on the floor behind you and sell them for $5 a pop to horny, lonely simps on the internet. Don't clog up my convention space.
No, that's 100% true. But now you're talking about educating people to be better human beings.
Yes,
and that's never going to happen.
Not only can we not do that, but quite frankly, that's what the other side wants to do. The opposition that thinks we're a bunch of shitlords who are gatekeeping believes that they can use social pressure to educate us into behaving like they want, and we shouldn't do that. That's not what we do. Not here in the church.
But it's a Comic Con. It's for people like us that want to be there with other like-minded people to celebrate comic books.
No.
You're not gonna say some polyamorous trans species whatever is going to go to a Hell's Angel. Is going to go to a Hell's Angels rally.
Okay, I thought you were about to say they're not going to go to a Comic
Con. No. You're not going to say that the Hell's Angels should let them into their biker rally.
Yeah, but see, you're arguing. That's a fallacy.
No,
because the thing is, you're arguing about an obviously violent group, as opposed to came from being mainly rejects in the first. It's not really in the nature of a comic fan to be exclusionary.
I don't buy into that.
No, but my point with that comparison is, okay, it doesn't have to be Hell's Angels. It could be it could be Sturgis, whatever. Just a general motorcycle rally or whatever. Those
it's
people,
still a
you
violent
have a right
crowd,
to be
statistically, I think.
Not really at Sturgis now. Sturgis
have you ever watched a Bash at the Beach?
Hold on, let me finish my point, Rude Knight. God damn it.
Go ahead.
As a group, using the motorcyclist example, you have a right to say, if you don't actively ride motorcycles, why are you here? Go away. You're not part of our community. So, in the same vein, if you're just there to put on a slutty costume and look like a whore, and you've never read a comic book before, why are you here? Go away.
Well, see,
I can tell them
Knight, go ahead, Rude Knight.
There are two things about this. One in relation to church. One in relation to Atron. For Atron, you're right. people have the right to go to the rally. But if you're going to a biker rally, even if you're wearing a leather jacket, even if you look the part, right, you have agreed on some level that you are prepared to get your ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
Not because you're an irritant, not because you caused a problem, but because that's the environment of the culture you just stepped into. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's going to be some guy, and if you make an eye at his girl or accidentally bump into him and spill his drink, he might punch you in the face. You accept that's a potential, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If you're going to be a cosplayer and go to the comic convention, you have to expect that you're going to be exposed to comic convention people. What your offense seems to be, is the idea that the cosplay thoughts are attempting to co-opt the convention, which is theoretically true. So what we have to come to an agreement about theoretically is what course of action do we take to make inclusive so that people can still come in, inclusive in the proper way of inclusion.
You're misunderstanding the show.
Versus telling them to
we're just complaining about things we don't like. We're not.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, this is the biggest solution in the multiverse.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying that as it stands, you're proposing that these people are a problem. It's like, well, these people aren't necessarily a problem. It's people in that subgroup can be a problem.
Right. Well, there's another bit of that I want to just touch on real quick. But besides just the bimbo whores, Deadpool cosplayers are probably worse than the bimbo whores because they've seen the movie and think Deadpool is just an asshole and not just like the biggest nihilist in the world that understands his existence is a fiction and just doesn't give a shit. They're just annoying as fuck, and I hate them. And anytime they're around me, I want to punch them in the dick.
Well, for a future show, we can talk about how Deadpool is the biggest problem in comics. that's my biases.
Fair enough. But yes, it's very, very close. I don't know which is worse, the whores or the Deadpools, because they're both equally annoying. At least the whores are fun to look at.
But my difference of opinion with you, Church, is you posited that this is an environment where most of the people involved were outcasts anyway. I don't think we were ever outcasts. I think we accept outcasts, but I think it's actually a narrative of people from the outside to say that we are the unwanted outsider. Because I was never outside. I grew up in this and thought this was normal. For me, it's like, this is home. I don't like the narrative that there's something wrong with me, and that's why I'm over here in the comics group.
I don't disagree, but the thing is we've all seen the customary depiction of the comic book, right? You got the guy who you got the guy who looks like he probably hasn't showered in several days. Draw stink lines over them if you were drawing it as a cartoon. It's not the kind of person that voted for prom king. If that's what I'm getting. These aren't people who are socially inept. They're not social. No, they're not housebroken. All right, these are people that sit in the back of the lunchroom by themselves.
They're outdoor cats.
The thing is, you and I also know that Stan is one of us. Stan was always one of us. If you go back and you look at the photos from the mid-'70s of him trying to look like a gangster with the gold chain and the sexy open-top shirt, he looks utterly ridiculous because he's a 98-pound nerd, and he always was, and we know it.
That's New York in the 70s. I have
a
family that's still dressed like that to this day.
I know. I'm just saying that, it's like, yes, on one range there's a comic book guy from The Simpsons. But on the other range, there are people who look in their day job absolutely normal, and then for their comic convention decide to be kind of goof, and that's fine too. None of these people are necessarily cultural outsiders.
Well, I think it's more of a
and that's fair. And like I said at the start, the guy that's a little bit tubby, a little bit doughy, wearing like an Adam West Batman costume. I'm fine with that. I just want to make that clear. I'm okay with like that level of like
goofiness
cosplay, if you will.
I think, well,
yeah,
honestly,
like
I gotta
having
argue
fun
that with
it.
you. I have to argue that with you a little bit because there's no difference between somebody who just throws on a t-shirt with a cape on the back of it and a thought who throws a bikini on to show her tits off. It's still low effort bullshit. If you're gonna wear a costume and you're gonna take that stance, and you should really take the stance of you should put the effort into the costume, which was my whole question.
No, because it's about the intention behind it. Like a costume I wore to a thing last year was just a Green Lantern T-shirt, just a T-shirt, and I have a pair of green Chuck Taylors, and then a Green Lantern ring, and
That's
I just said I'm the worst Green Lantern in the Corps.
Okay.
No, hold on, but I said I was the worst Green Lantern in the Corps, like the slacker lantern, and it was funny. And I've been reading Green Lantern comics for a while, so it's not like I was just doing it to show off. You know, I don't have like a super like ripped, muscly body and shit, and I don't have giant tits. So I wasn't doing it just for people to look at me. It was just like a last minute thing. I needed a costume. I was like, oh, well, I have this shit. Let me throw this on real quick an hour before this fucking costume party. And I'll go as this because, you know, it's funny.
Church, are you just angry because no one's got cosplaying as a giant building?
No, they're Transformer cosplayers.
like, should I get a cardboard box and like draw a face on it and a fail symbol and just
and
wear
remember
it
the
around?
flaming nipples.
Absolutely,
don't forget the flaming nipples.
Flaming nipples, candle nipples.
We need to. I'll have to do some like poor man jury rig with some little flickery candle lights and a like a D-cell battery.
Yeah, just get some tea lights.
Yeah,
just put them in there.
No, those like fake candles.
Yeah,
like the fake candlestick lights.
Yeah,
like
you can get fake tea lights for jack-o'-lanterns.
Okay, so it's now a challenge for all the people that aren't actually listening. Make your best Church of Failure cosplay photograph and send it in. We'll judge the best one.
I think it's the worst. Okay. Make the worst one is the question at this point with what we were just talking about. Anyway, you got any final thoughts on this? We got to move on.
I'll change.
We're not even talking about cosplayers.
I'll concede. I'll concede and change it a bit to disingenuous cosplayers. How's that?
Okay.
Is that better?
No, I can 100% agree with that. Fuck those people.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That's good. What's your problem, buddy?
Wait, I'm gonna save the real problem.
Okay.
For last.
Sure. Yeah. The best problem for last.
I do have another one.
I'm gonna moderate my earlier comments and say that I think the biggest problem in comics, serious comic problem, is the abuse of the tool, because the tool itself is not wrong, of deconstruction. Expanded mythos to the point of ridiculousness, right? This Beast Boy comic is basically deconstruction. It's not bad. Like it pisses me off because of its poor use of form, but the story overall is like, okay, whatever. Except, it is the sum total of other books that have gone on. Like I've read The Authority, which really popularized deconstructed paneling. At one time very excellently, right? And as I had a screaming bitch fit in general, they're doing a show on HBO, and this is relevant to comics after a fashion, called Ratchet, which is a prequel to the book and the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, in which one of the women from American Horror Story is going to play a young Nurse Ratchet. And we're going to learn how she became an evil cunt, pardon my language, and all of the other characters in Cuckoo's Nest and where they came from and their expanded lore, as though this needs a Game of Thrones style TV show, right? And while we're at it, we're going to play loose and fast with the identity politics, because it turns out that Nurse Ratchet is a self-hating lesbian who's trying to destroy her own sexual identity by giving people ice pick lobotomies. It's awful. It's vile. and we have enshrined it as good storytelling in comics. Because nothing is just what it is. Like, Spider-Man's not a good guy. No, we have to deconstruct his past to actually find out the hidden asshole Peter Parker always was.
Yeah.
You're kind of taking part of my second problem, but that's okay. I'll forgive you for it.
Okay. It's not like I knew what it was.
Well, we didn't expect you to have a problem. Send you
I am a problem.
Well, yeah. You normally don't come in cocked and ready and swinging like I expected Ayrton to be the one to go off. But here you are, you're like, motherfucking Beast Boy. And I'm just like, well, shit, why don't we just bring it to the table? This is good rage. I can't let it go to waste.
I have so much rage. My friends are always telling me to dial it back.
That's not what this show's about, buddy. No, I agree with you because I think, and when I think about deconstruction, there's only one name in mind, and that's health. I consider the birth of construction age. Like, I honestly think that the team age of comics are aptly constructed because that's when you got the breakdown of Batman, all the stories, Superman. That would be, well, what ifs and all that shit.
Watchmen.
Watchmen. What if you superhero? We talked a little bit about the Nazi and Boys, and the Boys is literally deconstructionist comic. I want to know.
I'm dubbing her the Hotsy, by the way.
Okay.
Well, see, I don't disagree with you, but I also don't think that Miller's the problem, because when Miller did Dark Knight Returns, that was an Elseworlds book.
I think Miller wrote. I think it's kind of like people. Obviously. Concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1984, a lot of people quote it's fiction, not an instruction manual. That's the way I feel about the Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
It was. It should have been left alone and not imitated as an instruction manual of how to make a comic. Not everybody's goddamn Frank Miller. Not everybody can pull off writing the
problem is.
Not everybody can pull off writing the word bubbles. I'm the goddamn Batman and get away with it.
Well, see, Miller's Dark Knight was Elseworlds, and as an Elseworlds was great until DC said this is too good. We got to use this and let's fold it in. Yeah. Watchmen is Elseworlds, and again they got to fold it in. But it was written by Alan Moore, who is, he's Treebeard, but he's an amazingly skilled Treebeard. I think the problem is Grant fucking Morrison. Grant Morrison needs to go jump off a fucking pier.
Well, there's a handful of guys. Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Frank Miller, and Garth Ennis are basically all the same person.
Well, no. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Alan Moore.
Beards.
Here's the thing. Alan Moore, though, has actually gone on record as saying that Grant Morrison made his career by imitating him.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison is like a cheap knockoff.
You guys are giving me
affordable
blue balls right now if we don't get to my second problem.
Of a bunch of other people. And that's the thing, is I think that it's not that deconstruction's bad or that deconstruction was ever wrong. It's that it's a tool. Well used, it's great, but you need to know when to put it down. And just instead, everybody has to deconstruct, and now we're just going to get the cheapest hack who will deconstruct for us on demand.
And not only that, but you get a repetition of the same shit differently. I think that's the biggest problem with it. Forgot to give you a ding, but I could have given you
to shut up?
No, a ding to agree with
you. You didn't get a ding.
Fuck you, Ayrton.
Ding.
No, I agree with you.
rich creamy dings.
Gonna delete the episode.
That long ass ding. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna delete the episode. Go offline. Show's over. Never gonna do it.
Hey, this is like my best argument so far. You can't delete this shit.
No, I agree with you, honestly. The question that I have, and you were talking earlier, paneling. Are you talking about it now with a concept for storytelling, handling all of it? Is there one specific area that you add
Well,
to begin with, or because obviously you don't have a problem with deconstruction if it's done well, but hack deconstruction.
Well, like I said, I read Authority many moons ago.
I remember
and
Authority. I actually liked the Authority.
The Authority is great, but as a for instance, there's a couple of pages where Midnighter's walking through the interdimensional ship, which has now become a refuge for peoples who are seeking asylum, right, from like political abuses and whatnot. And it's like little black children playing in the street and little communes, and it's being very friendly and very nice. And he gets into his private rooms finally with him and Apollo comes around the couch and hugs him from behind, and all he says after 3 pages of silence and motion is, "I never realized how racist I am." Because the joke is he's thinking all of these unspeakable things that you can't see.
Yeah.
That he only makes oblique reference to, because he's now surrounded by all these colors and all these ethnicities and all of these cultures, and just wants to get out of the noise for a while.
Right.
And it's very well done, and it works in that book where that personality. So that's fine, right?
And
but the thing is, it does slow down the book.
There are a couple of things I could say. That's a personal choice. Don't like.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are some silent panels that are the most impactful panels. Those come from I killed. The less is more idea. Those come from those really deep, impactful things, and they normally don't last a page. That's more of an artist thing than a writer thing. Yeah, the writer has to set it up. You can't pull it off like acting that. It doesn't matter.
Well, the problem is things like Death and Return of Superman, right?
Okay.
You have that super punch, that ultimate punch between Superman and Doomsday, where the results of that punch are 3 pages, and not just 3 panels, but 3 fully drawn splash pages in the middle of the book.
There's
and
no
this
more
is supposed to infer
there's no more impactful panel in comic than.
Oh no, Lois Lane holding Superman's broken body, yes, absolutely impactful. I'm talking about the punch before that.
No, I know. I
the
get
multi-page punch. I understand that it's supposed to be massive, right? It's supposed to have the same feel as like when we're watching a movie and they do the slow-mo 360 spin. Except those things have never impressed me. They slow down the story and they don't make good, impactful energy. I'm not like, oh yeah.
I'll be right.
On the other hand, you watch a. Okay.
All right, keep going.
Oh, is this the joke?
No.
I was just saying that on the other end of the spectrum, you have like a Jackie Chan movie. Jackie Chan, after filming something from multiple angles, recuts it, so you'll actually watch the same punch twice in quick succession from different angles, so that you not only get the actual hit, the bone crunching of the blow, but then you'll also get the flow, the feeling of movement as it moves from one strike to the next strike, and that's very much like good action paneling in a comic. I want to watch comics be snappy and fast and entertaining and do fun things. I can understand why it needs to be slow sometimes, but if you slow it down so much that I'm not reading a comic to watch a 40-minute episode of Game of Thrones.
Right. Or to be a little more topical, or an episode of Dragon Ball Z. how many episodes did it take to release that goddamn spirit bomb?
But instead of 3 full splash pages of that punch, maybe just like a nice 2-page spread with like the initial impact in the center and maybe a couple of like offshoot panels off to the corner showing different steps of the impact, and then the next page you move on to the next bit of the fight.
Or you have 2 pages.
Something like that.
One page is the actual punch, that's the splash page. And like on the next page, what you have is a succession of smaller and smaller left to right panels, where each one is Superman like going through a building, going through a car, hitting the street, bouncing a couple of times, and at the far end of the right of the screen, it's just kind of a scribble, because the action's so damaging you can't see all of it, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. I could dig something like that.
And you are right. It is on some level the artist, but the writer writes the paneling, right? And in that sense, like in a musical sense, they set the beat for how the panels are supposed to flow. So it's the two together, and if you're doing page, 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 box, 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 page, it's like, ugh, it's heavy and slow.
Right. No, I get you, and I can get behind it. I think the Deacon. This will be my final. I think of Deacon. I think of things.
I'm a bit deep in there.
Or not invincible. Irredeemable. Wade, storyline. And even though that's a trope that's been done to death, I think of things like Kingdom Come and Earth X, where it's a dystopian future in both formats were taken over and where you have the fucked up future books aren't considered as canon, like you said with Dark Knight. Canon, till too many people got a hand in it, and hey, I really want to incorporate the story or some of the characters. I'm going to kind of fold it into the Batman. The Killing Joke. Killing Joke was never supposed to be canon, but it eventually was. That's why we have so many Joker deaths in the Batman timeline, when the Joker never was supposed to keep going from that death. But yeah, there's good deconstruction and there's bad deconstruction. I don't know that it's a problem. I think it's overused. That's just my.
So I believe Artian is going to explode.
No, I mean, I'm trying to hold stuff in because you're like adjacent to my second problem. But well, no, I agree.
That's it.
The deconstructionist stuff, it's just getting old. Like, it's not interesting anymore. I don't care. I want the cheesy Justice League where they fight Starro. Like, and they're sitting there going like, gee, golly, how are we going to beat him this time? Like, I'm sick of the deconstructionist
It would stuff. Absolutely
it was cool. It was cool at first.
It would absolutely be a breath of fresh air if the Super Friends. Like, old school.
Oh, I fucking love the Super Friends. Like, form of a bucket of ice.
I mean, I still hate the false happiness, the false golly gee willikers, everything's neat, with stupid jetpack Nazis and, raptor ninjas. That shit drives me up the wall because it's so forced. They're just like, how many check boxes can we get to make you buy this book?
Okay, but let me just counterpoint. If they would have made that horrible Justice League movie not about what they did with it, but they made it like the Starro shit for the first movie, would you not have loved that so much better than the Steppenwolf bullshit?
I don't think it would have sold, but yeah, I would have, but I don't think it was a problem. But anyway, we got to move on.
I would have come so hard seeing that.
So much.
What wasn't even a good Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf was a pretty cool band, though. You know what I mean?
That's true.
To be wild.
What's up, Drew?
God damn it, Drew! Where did you come from?
Your mama.
I hate you so much.
You gave him a key.
I did.
He sniped in while you weren't looking.
Yeah, basically. Anyway,
I just came to say.
I hate you so much.
Basically,
you just blew out anyone listening's
eardrums.
eardrums.
You bloated over on my show.
Nah, I'm a metalhead. I'm fine.
Ayrton, timestamp. If I ever get these episodes to you, to actually, change up. Timestamp.
you got a point to make there, buddy.
56:30, so you could at least turn his obnoxious ass down.
Sure.
I hate you so much. Love you, but I hate you.
You could
so
also,
much.
Anyways,
you could also sample it and then weaponize it.
I'm going
if
to
you
do
ever turn
that
this
too.
into a call-in, if you ever turn this into like a call-in show.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's like, oh, you're serious. Let me laugh louder, and then you just push the button.
Have the obnoxious "fuck you, Drew" laugh.
Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's get to
what's your problem, buddy?
Let's get to a real problem.
You know, let's listen to Church talk about how wrong he was, and that the vote totally did not go his way.
Oh no, I did. I talked about how wrong everyone else was voting earlier.
Well,
that portion of the show.
Well, I was just curious though. Like, what was your problem, Artie? Eder, I mean, what was the problem that you were going to die about?
Oh no, we'll get to that. I got to get my problem out.
Okay. All right,
my turn. We're not doing two in a row.
You're never gonna get your problem out, Church.
Church is in session.
Wait, shut up. I mean, give me my few minutes to actually make my point. God, just. I will mute you.
We gather here today.
You done? I'm not. Anyway, my problem this week, a real fucking problem, not just something angry, but a real problem.
Is this the same one as before you told me earlier?
Superhero day jobs.
Yeah, it is.
Superhero day jobs are a huge fucking problem. And I'll tell you why. Clark Kent, a reporter.
Enlighten us, Master.
Clark Kent's a reporter. Superman, by nature, doesn't just take payments for being... So, how the fuck is he just like this super well... Like, you never hear Superman bitching about being able to pay the fucking rent. Or being docked pay because he's off being Superman and misses 2 days of work.
Yeah, because he can make diamonds with his fist.
Okay, so that's what he does? He destroys the economy? I don't think so. You never see... you never see that.
No, he's not a greedy capitalist. He doesn't need to make 1,000 diamonds. He makes 5 and puts some money in the bank.
My asshole is tight enough. If you put a lump of charcoal up there, I'd probably shit out of it.
Can I finish? Okay.
Oh, you weren't done? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we have no clue about how Superman makes fucking rent when he's on Darkseid for Great and Perry White could technically fire him. He doesn't. So Superman doesn't get fired.
We just covered that though. Go ahead.
No, we didn't. But Iron Man and
have you seen Superman 3? Have you seen Superman 3?
Drew, he's gonna start yelling at you again.
I think that's what he's trying to do, but I'm just gonna mute him.
That's the point, right?
I'm really trying to get my problem out here. You guys are fucking cramping my style.
Go ahead.
Batman
style.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Everybody else, just go ahead. I'll just shut the fuck up. You know, it doesn't matter.
You know, if you want to get your point out, it probably helps to start talking about
it. I'm really. You don't have to be a fucking asshole.
I'm actually curious on this. I would like you to tell me the problem.
So,
anytime you're ready, Church, we're all listening.
Batman, Superman, Daredevil, She-Hulk, they all have day jobs. Okay, Batman's an industrious billionaire. Just gets to just throw money around no matter what. You never see him getting audited by the IRS. Same thing with Iron Man.
Is that a day job, really? Though, is that really a day job, or is that just like a luxury life? I mean, because he doesn't have to work, so he doesn't really like a day job.
Being a CEO of a company, CFO, or whatever the fuck Iron Man and Batman are with Stark Industries, technically a day job.
Was Batman the CEO, or is he just the owner? I thought he didn't do the business
shit.
very much. I mean, yeah, he dictated some stuff, but
yeah, you still have to.
Yeah, he got
shit.
to play. You know, like Donald Trump style. You know what I mean? Like, do this shit because I say so, kind of.
Those aren't the only ones. They're billionaires, so they're kind of catch-22 into their reason. That's how you have.
You know, you were going on about the day job thing, like how they pay the bills. I'm like, well, he ain't got that problem.
Right. I'm getting there. It's not the only thing. Like Spider-Man and Clark Kent.
Yes, Spider-Man definitely fucking had to like struggle to pay the bills.
And in some comic books,
it was rough for him.
I'm getting to that. Spider-Man in some comic books, like fucking stop.
What am I doing? I'm listening. Go ahead.
Spider-Man and Secret Wars 2.
You invited me on. You invited me. You invited me. Just so you know. It's your own doing. Go ahead. Wait, are you gonna make your point or not?
No,
Jeez,
no, I'm not.
Dude, quit being a bitch and make your point.
You know what?
All right.
I don't do.
We're listening, Church.